Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Newsbrowse News broadcast. The International Atomic Energy Agency, IAEA, announced on Monday, May 4th, that meteorological monitoring equipment at Ukraine's Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant, ZNPP, currently under Russian control, was damaged by a drone attack and is no longer operational. ZNPP, Europe's largest nuclear facility with 6 reactors, has been occupied by Russian forces since the early stages of the Russia-Ukraine war in 2022. Both sides have frequently blamed each other for military actions threatening the plant's safety. IAEA Director General Rafael Mariano Grossi reiterated his call for maximum military restraint around all nuclear facilities to prevent safety risks. While Russian management claimed minor damage with other operations unaffected, Ukrainian media RBC Ukraine reported a previous drone attack in spring 2026 that killed a driver near a transport workshop. The IAEA has conducted its 7th mission to assess critical infrastructure, including substations, and is working to arrange a local ceasefire to repair an external power line crucial for cooling nuclear fuel, which has been disconnected since late March. IAEA observers are stationed at ZNPP and other operational Ukrainian nuclear power plants to monitor and avert potential radiation leak crises. This news is from the Epoch Times. According to Liberty Times, Sebastian Lai, son of imprisoned Hong Kong media tycoon Jimmy Lai, has expressed gratitude to former U.S. President Donald Trump for his pledge to discuss his father's case with Chinese President Xi Jinping during an upcoming visit to China from May 14 to 15. Sebastian emphasized that only President Trump holds the influence to secure his father's release, offering a lot of hope. He warned Beijing against allowing his father to die in prison, stating that it would turn Jimmy Lai into a martyr and inflict severe damage on the judicial systems and reputations of both Hong Kong and China. Sebastian asserted that Xi Jinping possesses the authority to release Jimmy Lai, claiming it would only take 2 hours to put him on a plane and send him away. Trump confirmed his intention to raise the issue, recalling a previous discussion with Xi about Lai's case during their meeting in Busan, South Korea, last October. Havana, Cuba has vehemently rejected U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio's assertion that there is no oil blockade against the island nation. Xinhua reported. Cuban Foreign Minister Bruno Rodriguez accused Rubio of fabricating the truth, highlighting that the statement contradicts an executive order signed by U.S. President Donald Trump on January 29th. This order threatens tariffs on countries engaged in oil trade with Cuba. Rodriguez revealed that in the 4 months following the order, only 1 fuel ship has managed to reach Cuba, as all potential suppliers have been intimidated and threatened, violating principles of free trade and navigation. He emphasized that Rubio is fully aware of the severe damage inflicted upon the Cuban people by what he termed the oil siege. Additionally, Cuba criticized another executive order signed by Trump on Friday, which imposes secondary sanctions on its energy sector, targeting foreign banks linked to the Cuban government and enacting migration restrictions. These measures grant Washington the authority to block individuals or entities operating in critical Cuban sectors such as energy, mining, defense, and security, or those providing material, financial, or technological support to the Cuban government or sanctioned individuals. The Cuban government has unequivocally labeled these actions as illegal, underscoring the ongoing impact of U.S. sanctions that have been in place for over 60 years. With a comprehensive trade embargo officially instituted in February 1962. LBC reports that new legislation will be introduced in the King's Speech to combat Iran-backed criminal activities in the UK. Under these new laws, individuals perpetrating anti-Semitic attacks orchestrated by Tehran could face up to 14 years in prison, even if they are unaware of acting on Iran's behalf. This crackdown comes in response to a recent spate of anti-Semitic incidents on British soil, including a terrorist attack in Golders Green. The Home Secretary will gain powers to designate proxy groups, such as the Iranian-linked Harakat Ashab al-Yaman al-Islamiyya, and even state entities like the Iranian Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, IRGC, as foreign intelligence services. Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer emphasized that the Iranian regime's attempts to foment violence, hatred, or division will not be tolerated. Additionally, the head of the Crown Prosecution Service, Stephen Parkinson, has instructed prosecutors to fast-track hate crime charges, calling the situation a significant crisis for British Jews. China is rapidly becoming the world's largest testing ground for artificial intelligence, with its swift and widespread adoption by both the public and businesses set to shape global AI usage. According to the Canadian press, scenes of people lining up to install AI assistants like OpenClaw in cities like Beijing and Shenzhen highlight this rapid embrace. Over 600 million Chinese citizens were using generative AI by December, a 142% increase from the previous year. Data consumption by Chinese AI models has even surpassed US models, positioning China as a world leader in AI adoption. Major tech firms such as Tencent and Alibaba are integrating agentic AI into their core operations in platforms like WeChat. While U.S. export controls on advanced chips pose a bottleneck, they also incentivize China to bolster its domestic tech supply chain, exemplified by DeepSeek's V4 AI model utilizing Huawei-made chips. Experts believe this dynamic could ultimately fuel China's AI ambitions, moving it from a fast follower to a parallel innovator and potentially closing the AI performance gap with the US. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.